Well, hello, my name's Paul. Welcome to my channel, Talking Music, where every song has a story. And on this channel, we like to get behind the music with facts and information, stories and secrets about the song in question. And the song we're featuring today is this little beauty, Hotel California, from the Eagles. Now, there's mystery about this song's lyrics, which, especially in the 1970s, provoked a sinister mythology. All sorts of people were interpreting the song in all sorts of ways. American evangelists even claimed the lyrics somehow had something to do with Satan. One thing is for sure, though, people, when listening to it, got their own thing out of it. And when that happens, it's because the writers have never told us what they were writing about in the first place. And sometimes that's because they don't know themselves. I truly believe that. And if you look at the lyrics for Hotel California, they're very flowery and highly imaginative and creative. The members of the band have often been asked, probably their most often asked question, what are the lyrics to Hotel California all about? And Don Henley has gone as far as saying that the song is about a journey from innocence to experience. So interpret that as you will. Before then, he was saying that the song was about the excesses of American culture. But in the history of the Eagles, a documentary on the band in 2013, he settled on the former.
It means different things to different people, and some of them are just insane. But that's okay. The song is created its own mythology. I mean, there's the myth about where the song was written in Mexico, a place to which none of us have ever been. But the song is simply about a journey from innocence to experience.
The song was composed in 1975 by Don Felder, with lyrics from Fry and Henley in 1976, when the Eagles had just hit the big time, especially with their greatest hits 71 to 75 selling in huge quantities around the world. The pressure was on the band to come up with another album to consolidate this success. The band members, Don Henley, Glenn Fry, Don Felder, Joe Walsh and Randy Meisner, felt that pressure too as they created songs for the album. One of those songs would be New Kid in Town, which was inspired by their current success. But how long could they hold on to it for? 5 male components to the band, all with creative abilities, all having fronted their own bands, all believing in what they had to say. A pot brimming over, maybe. Here's Glenn Fry.
Here's the thing about the Eagles. We have this really interesting mix of personalities and talent. Each guy brings something to the dance.
The Eagles had 3 who could lead the band as singer, Don Henley, Glenn Fry and Randy Meisner, and 2 world-class guitarists, Joe Walsh and Don Felder. Don Felder had a young family living in Topanga, in the hills of California, and one day their young toddler had a close encounter with a rattlesnake, particularly prevalent in that area. So they moved promptly and rented a house on Malibu Beach. Don used to play his guitar, creating riffs and progressions, which he would then sometimes send on to the rest of the band for consideration. Don remembers the time he started playing what would become Hotel California.
And I was just sitting on a couch playing guitar like I do pretty much all day. Not just sitting on the couch, but wherever I am, I try to play it all day, at least between 3 and 5 hours a day. I love to do it, So I'm sitting on this couch just tinkering away, and you could see the Pacific Ocean out there with the sun glistening on the waves, and my kids had a swing set on this sandy beach, and they were out playing on the beach, and it was just one of those perfect California days. And I was home. Thank God I was off the road. I was home off the road. And out came this chord progression. And I played it 3 or 4 or 5 times and went, I have to go record this. If I don't write something down, if it's a lyric idea, or record it, 2 days later you go, what was that idea? It kind of went I can't remember it.
Joe Walsh was the other lead guitarist in the band. He hadn't been with the Eagles for long, but Don and Joe had struck up a good friendship.
Joe Walsh had just joined the band, and Joe and I had been doing these shows together, Joe Walsh shows, for Don Kirshner's rock concert. And I think we did a show in Dodger Stadium with Elton John, and where Joe and I would just jam and play great guitar against each other. And it was so much fun that when he joined the band, I wanted to write a song that Joe and I could do that on an Eagles record, because it was just so much fun to do. So when I was listening to that song, I thought this would be great once I get to the parts where Joe and I can do this. So I kind of wrote these two guitar parts, one that's pretty much exactly like what's on the record now that I played, and then I put that guitar down and said, well, Joe would play something kind of like this, and I kind of simulated that ending guitar solo.
It was when Don Henley got interested that the song started to take shape.
I'd finished 15 or 16 other song ideas and put them on a cassette. I don't know if anybody remembers what a cassette is. Put it on a cassette and made copies of it, and I gave copies of that cassette to everybody in the band. One of the other songs that wound up on the record was a song called Victim of Love that was on that cassette. And so Henley calls me up and says, I really like that song that sounds kind of like a Mexican reggae. And I knew exactly what track he was talking about.
Don Felder had composed the song in the key of E minor, but when the band went to record it, it seemed too fast. So they did the necessary adjustments on the second recording, and the song felt better, bigger, and fuller. When Glenn Frey and Don Henley had completed the lyrics, and it was decided that Don Henley would lead the vocals, the recording began. But Don was sounding like Barry Gibb, breaking into falsetto, which was not the Eagles' sound. So the whole song had to be recorded again, in a lower key, for the third time, to suit Don Henley. One of the last things to be recorded was the Felder and Walsh guitar duet at the end of the song.
And when it came time to actually do those guitar parts on the end of the record, I always thought Joe and I would go into the studio, set up two stools in the control room, our amps out on the other side of the glass, and we would just play and go at each other like we'd always done, right? That's what I really wanted to do, was capture that fire and excitement of pushing each other and trying to one-up each other in a very loving, friendly way to make each of us play at a higher level, you know? So we were doing that, and Don Henley walks back in the control room and goes, wait, stop, what are you doing? I went, well, we're putting the guitars on the end of the song. He says, no, you got to do it just like your demo. I said, I wrote that a year ago. I have no idea what that is. And we were in the studio in Miami. I had to pick up the phone, call my house, get my housekeeper to go through my cassettes, find the right cassette, put it in a blaster, play it and hold the phone up to it so we could record it in the studio. And I had to sit down and learn exactly verbatim what I just made up, you know, as a rough idea, and that literally became verbatim what was on the record today. So there was a lot of collaboration that went on lyrically, musically, guitar part stuff. Don had been listening to that tape over and over and over, and when it got to the end, that's what he expected to hear.
There was a playback party of the album, which was now called Hotel California, where all the big record company executives from Warner Brothers, who had been pushing the band hard for more songs for an album, would get together with other interested parties, like music journalists, to hear the new music. When Hotel California started playing, Don Henley announced that it would be the band's next single. The song at the time, 1976, was, in nearly any way you heard it, not conducive to the hit songs being played on radio anywhere in the world at the time. It was too long. It was over 6 minutes. The intro was 52 seconds, and the guitar fade-out was well over a minute. Sure, there had been songs before that had broken the 3-minute pop format. Bohemian Rhapsody, Hey Jude immediately come to mind, and there were others, but they had always met with record label resistance. This time, no resistance from the record company. If you listen to the album Hotel California, there's a theme to it. Once you arrive in LA, California, you have a couple of hits, you become the new kid in town, and then start living life in the fast lane, and then start wondering about all the excess in your life, whether it was just wasted time. The album is one of the best sellers of all time, with between 30 to 40 million record sales. These lists for worldwide sales are always what they call dynamic and move up and down, but an official figure of 32 million is claimed, which, if true, is huge. The single, bearing in mind it came from such a big album, performed well too. Here are the UK and US charts. First, America. And as you can see, it went to number 1 on May the 7th, 1977. It took 11 weeks to get to the top, and it spent 13 weeks in the top 20. It turned gold, which in America means 1 million record sales. And at the year end, it turned out to be the 19th bestseller of the year. And as I said before, good going, bearing in mind it was the second single off the album. New Kid in Town was the first. And that also topped the US chart as well. The bestseller of the year, 1977, was Rod Stewart, Tonight's the Night. And on the UK chart, didn't go quite as high. Their singles in the UK never really set the charts on fire. This was one of their best results as a single in the UK, but their albums always did well. Peaking at number 8 on May the 14th, 1977. Number 1 this week was Free by Denise Williams. And the Eagles were actually the second best-selling band in the UK this year, behind ABBA. Hotel California won the Grammy for Record of the Year and ranks highly in popularity music polls. Rolling Stone magazine put it at number 49 in the 500 Greatest. And the song has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The song's guitar solo has been lauded too, the best of all time, by readers of Guitar magazine in 1999. Other tidbits, the line, "The warm smell of colitas rising up through the air," refers to marijuana. In reality, there was no Hotel California at the time of the song, and at one time there was a proposed idea of a film to be based on the song's lyrics, but the band turned it down, fearing they would have no control over the project. And no one really knows what the lyrics are about anyway. It's a classic song, and again, another being recorded at the very famous Criteria Studios in Miami. And it was a song that maintained the phenomenal global success of the band, which was to last until their implosion, mostly through exhaustion, in 1980. That's Hotel California from the Eagles. And that's it for another Talking Music, where every song has a story. There's another video on the screen which I hope you'll enjoy, and do subscribe because there are a lot more videos where we get behind the music with facts, information, secrets and stories. All you need to do is just click on the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.